Mark, you're old, let go. Nobody wants to know what grandmother did at swingers night at the Villages in their news feed. Facebook is dead. Did I just say that? Yeah, I did. Facebook is a dinosaur and is slowly dying. I mean, the day that my parents got on Facebook was a sign of the beginning of the end. I mean, when old people, even me, I'm 52 years old, and I'm on Facebook, compared to what Facebook first started out as, a place where college students, where you had to have a college ID to actually have a Facebook account, would go to, where they would socialize, debate ideas and different things. Well, when they opened the door, because, well, they had to, because money and being public, they started the beginning of their end. We've seen this a lot. I mean, we see it more often now because of technology really is advancing things faster and faster. When it comes to social media, let's really make sure we understand the two key words in that. Social, this is where people interact, where they get together and debate ideas, share events, those kind of things. And media, where narratives are blowing up, where the latest and worst thing that could ever happen to a human being or to a world is in big bold letters printed out. Social media is a dangerous concept. See, social media used to be the newspaper. It used to be the country club. Social media used to be a newsletter. Today, it's the internet. And the internet is about broad and big ideas. But unfortunately, a lot of big and broad ideas have, gone the wrong way. When you have countries who have war divisions of propaganda to pump out bad things about certain people or certain countries, or create a divide, you know that the origination of that platform, like Facebook, is now being, spread too thin, pulled in all these different parts. And the thing about Facebook that I look at and I question is, it's a young person's game. I mean, yeah, it's cool to see what grandma's doing, at least the clean stuff, or what grandpa's doing, or maybe your friends who, maybe you're a Gen Xer like me, and it's a way you keep up with people, what's going on with high school people or high school buddies and college buddies. But Facebook is I think rapidly, starting to lose its identity and lose its ground on the social media game. Recently, they came out with their earnings, and one of the things that really caught my eye was this, other than it's not Facebook anymore, it's Meta in relation to the Metaverse. But what caught me most was this Reality Labs. This is their division that's building out this Metaverse idea, this area where we will eventually do all of our socializing in an environment of unreality, or whatever Metaverse they're talking about. I don't doubt that that's where things are headed, but to spend and lose, to lose $10 billion in 2021 on this concept, and in so far this year they've lost $3.3 billion on just this part of their business. You throw on top of the fact that Apple sort of curved their ability to target market when it comes to advertising on the Apple products, so like the iPhone and the iPad and so on, it's now taken a big hit in their bottom line of ad revenue. And that's what they survive on, is ad revenue. There's no really subscription services that I can think of off the top of my head, and maybe there are. But are they relevant enough to keep Facebook in the game? You look at the different platforms of Facebook, within Facebook, Facebook groups. Yeah, that's interesting. Great concept. And I remember being at the Social Media Examiner conference probably 3 or 4 years ago. And they said, this is the next move of Facebook, is Facebook groups. But when math problems is one of the biggest Facebook groups on Facebook, really? Why do social media websites go away? Why do they become irrelevant? I think the biggest reason they do is this: gray hair. I don't think like I did, say, 30, 40 years ago. I don't think way outside the box as I did in the past. I socialize differently. The other thing to consider is Facebook has, been in the public eye in a big way. Being pulled in front of Congress, Mark Zuckerberg has had to defend some of the practices of Facebook. And maybe the whole losing market cap value will help them in taking them off the radar because of missing their earnings this past quarter. But I think it's just a sign of the times that this is a company who is taking a lot of missteps, where they have just, they haven't been thinking right. And this move to go towards more, say, Metaverse, I think it's another misstep. You got to take care of your situation today. You got to produce products and services that are relevant today, along with developing stuff for tomorrow. And I don't see Facebook doing that. Now, I will give them this. Instagram is very powerful. I don't go on Facebook all that much anymore. Anything that I put on Instagram, it bleeds into Facebook. But more and more I'm on Instagram, and I'm wondering, what's the point of all this? What's the relevancy? Is there a better platform to be on? Is there a better place for profitability in the long run when it comes to social media? I like Snapchat. I like it from a stock perspective. Am I on Snapchat? No. But when my kids say they're on Snapchat, and I've asked them, are you on Facebook? And they go, no, Dad. That's for old people. Snapchat's where they go. It's where they communicate. It's where they text. It's where they, I don't know what they do. But apparently Snapchat's figured something out. And I like it because, number one, demographically, it's more in line with the money that will be spent in the future. It's where the strength is. Baby boomers and Gen X, we're all big money spenders. But the baby boomer group, they're fading away. Let's just put it nicely, right? Where if you look at, my generation, Gen X, we don't have a lot of money and we're always working. So we're not on Facebook like, say, baby boomers are. But when you don't have that generation that's younger than, say, Gen X, say the Gen Y or Gen Z, you're not really thinking in the right place. Because in the end, they will be the people who spend the money. They will shape how our world functions. And right now, they're spending a lot of time on Snapchat. I also like the financial side of it when it comes to Snapchat. Earnings are up 42% year over year. Daily active users is up 20%, or 390 million people a day on a year over year basis. I mean, they're gaining ground. And here's the beauty of it. Their stock price is below $40 as of this recording. I look at it and I go, you couple the Snapchat with their growing user base, their adoption rate by the younger generations, their new relevant additions to the platform that are relevant today. I'm not talking 5 or 10 years from now like Metaverse stuff. I'm talking relevant today. They're generating revenue and they're adopting to what their audience is asking for. And it's not a bunch of gray-haired old people. Now, please do me a favor. Do not go sign up for Snapchat if you're over the age of, say, 45. Please don't kill this idea, right? But rather, see where this stock could take you in the future. I'm not saying today is the time to buy Snapchat. I couple the whole macro landscape with the falling, inflationary numbers, the Fed potentially raising interest rates, 4 to 5 times, depending on what you look at. I think Snapchat, in this case, is probably a great price between $10 and $20 a share, which is about a $15 discount from where it is today. And then from the long run, I think it's got a long way it can go. It's gotten as high as $80 a share. So if you can buy between 10 and 20 and we get back to that $80 price tag in the future or higher, that's a heck of a profit. That's a heck of a return. And it's on a platform that isn't really trying to figure itself out at this point. I think Snapchat knows what it is. And that's why I like Snapchat and will be adding it to my portfolio when it gets into the buy zone. So you do what you do with this information, but I encourage you to go out and take a look at the two different platforms. When it comes to social media, it's fleeting. Remember, it goes away. Remember, was it MySpace? Yeah, I remember when that sold for, $500 million? Now, where's MySpace? It's gone. You think about all the other social media platforms. They're gone. They come and go. So you have to ask yourself this question. Will Meta or Facebook be relevant in the next 2 years, 5 years? Take into account that they're already losing ground on one of their platforms and most likely will be losing ground on their other one, Instagram, probably in the next 12 months or so, because you'll see this evolution away from these platforms into more younger related platforms. Remember, old people aren't the future. It's the young people. So go where the puck is going, not to where it is today. Famous words of Wayne Gretzky. Please don't take this advice or as a recommendation, because it isn't. It's purely my opinion. But most importantly, what I'd like you to do today and many days going forward is to always live loud. Peace.